Sentinels. My name is Kate Barnhouse, and I'm the Assistant Executive Producer of the Seton Catholic Television.
And my name is Daniela Fimbres. I'm the Features Editor of the Sentinel Journal student newspaper.
And my name is Noah Singson, and I'm the Stories Editor for the Seton Yearbook.
Today we are joined with the newly appointed Bishop of the Diocese of Phoenix, the Most Reverend John P. Dolan. I would like to start by saying thank you for leading us in a beautiful Mass today. So, to start off, what was your initial reaction to becoming a bishop after so many years of serving as a priest in many different parishes?
Well, it was pretty amazing, and to be frank, I was a bishop 5.5 years ago. So up until 6 months ago, I was an auxiliary bishop in the Diocese of San Diego. But I enjoyed that moment where I was asked by the Pope to consider the possibility of being a bishop. But I always loved being in a parish, and I loved being in schools. All my life I was in parishes with schools. In fact, I went through grade school and I went to Catholic high school. And in fact, the Catholic high school I went to had the same colors, the red and gold. So I was very proud of that. We were called the Dons, but I'm glad to be a part of this wonderful event where I get to share the same colors. So that's great.
That's awesome. From your visit to Catholic schools, what is your impression of Catholic education in the diocese, and what have you seen that has impressed you?
Well, I'm impressed here in the Diocese of Phoenix with the number of Catholic schools that we have, including the number of high schools that we have. That's really impressive. That has impressed me, that we are greater in some ways than San Diego in that regard. But I've always felt that, particularly in Catholic high schools, it's just a wonderful time where I see students broadening their horizons, and they're really beginning to look at life in a whole new way. It's so different than when you were in grade school, right?
Yeah.
Completely, right?
Yeah.
So, and then you're able to just kind of grow in your faith and grow in culture and just grow socially. I think that's very exciting. But I really do believe in our Catholic faith tradition, because we have that opportunity to really add that additional dimension to our education. You know, we are allowed to talk about God, talk about Jesus, and not be afraid of that, and to pray in this institution, which is great.
So what is your vision for Catholic education in the future?
Well, just to continue what you have been doing. So I think it's been great. What I saw here at Seton, it's just an amazing thing. The vibrancy of the liturgy, the vibrancy of the community here. Just keep doing what you're doing, but obviously we'll think about any future growth. I'm sure that might be coming down the pike, but we'll see how all that goes. But I'm very excited with what I have been seeing so far. So.
And how do you feel about our plans and renovations here at Seton?
It's pretty nice. I just walked across a parking lot to get here, and I hear that parking lot is going away. Sorry, seniors, but you're going to have an opportunity to expand once again. That just says an awful lot about the community, about those who are really investing in the future of this wonderful school. So I just think it's great. It's just wonderful to watch.
So you said you come here to this diocese without a specific plan, just to listen. Throughout these last 6 months that you've been here, what have you heard? Any plans now? I have to resist making plans, because I have to continue to listen. But there's a temptation to kind of jump in and make decisions, and I try to avoid that as much as possible. I don't know if I've been terribly successful in that regard, but I am trying my best to just keep listening. So I think it's just good. So I hear a lot of things, everything from grade school students to high school students to our college students in our Newman Center at ASU. And one thing we are looking at is that we're building a whole new seminary system, which is to train our guys for priesthood. And that will be coming soon at a diocese near you.
So can you touch on your plans for the new mental health ministry that you've created and discuss why it's important to you?
Well, it's near and dear to my heart. I lost some family members through suicide, and so I think just being human, you want to do something about it. So that was something that was important to me. But we basically opened up an office for mental health ministry, and the idea is that we want to educate people about mental health. I'm glad here at Seton that you're doing that. I think that's so important that you're delving into that. I think that's a really important thing. And then that sense of accompaniment, what we want to do is just kind of let people know that even though they might have some struggles with their health and their mental health, that they belong. And that's a very important thing. And then finally, we want to, in the spirit of advocacy, really ask the government for funding for, the science of medicine, so that we will continue to study the brain and neurology and really understand the depth of what we're looking at, the disorder and mental health. So, yeah, thank you.
Okay, so you wrote a book, When a Loved One Dies of Suicide. Can you tell us a little bit what that's about and what encouraged you to write that?
Sure. So that book, there are actually two books. One was a kind of a training manual for priests, and so they would know what to say when someone dies by suicide, so that they don't say something that is like inappropriate, or they're not really thinking of, So it's kind of a training manual. And then the other one is for people who have lost loved ones by suicide and how they can go through that. And it's kind of a novena book, so they pray for 9 days, and they kind of chew on some stories about mental health and so on. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And what advice can you give to people who have lost a family member to suicide?
My advice is talk about it. Continue to talk about it. Have you ever cut your arm, or you had to put a Band-Aid on, right?
Yeah.
Or some bandage, right? So then you have to pull that bandage off. Maybe look at the wound, tend the wound, and then put it back on, a new bandage on. Well, sometimes people are afraid to talk about, their mental health. And it's just important to do that. It's like, taking off the bandage, looking at it, and then addressing it again. It's just important to talk about it. Some people get tired of talking about it, but you got to do it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
We loved getting to know you, and we look forward to all your plans in our diocese.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank
you.
you. So yearbook, newspaper, TV,
SCTV. Yes.
SCTV. Awesome. See you guys.